Hi, I'm Kate with The Productive Teacher, and today we're going to play the word maker game with the ACK word family. If you haven't played before, I'll explain it. All one-syllable words are made up of an onset and a rime. The onset is the letter or letters that come before the vowel in a word. The rime is the vowel and all the letters that come after it in a word. We can make words by combining onsets and rhymes. In our word maker game, we take one rhyme that's called a word family and use different onsets to see if they make words. As we play, I will show you words and read them. You can read along with me, you can listen to me read, you can put the video on silent and read on your own. Then we determine which are real words. Let's get started. Back. Back is a word. Cack. Cack is not a word. Dack. Dack is not a word. Fack. Fack is not a word. Gack. Gack is not a word. Hack. Hack is a word. Jack. Jack is a name, so I capitalize it and count it as a word. Cack. Cack is not a word. Lack. Lack is a word. Mac. Mac is not a word. Knack. Knack is not a word. Pack. Pack is a word. Rack. Rack is a word. Sack. Sack is a word. Tack. Tack is a word. Vac. Vac is not a word. Whack. Whack is not a word. Yak. Yak is not a word. Now you may be saying, wait a minute, there is an animal called a yak. It is not spelled this way, so this one is not a word. Zack. Zack is a name, so I capitalize it and call it a word. Chack. Chack is not a word. Fack. Fack is not a word. Shack. Shack is a word. Thack. Thack is not a word. Quack. Quack is a word. Black. Black is a word. Brack. Brack is not a word. Clack. Clack is a word. Crack. Crack is a word. Drack. Drack is not a word. Flack. Flack is not a word. Frack. Frack is not a word. Glack. Glack is not a word. Grack. Grack is not a word. Plaque. Plaque is not a word. Now you may say, wait, I've heard the word plaque before. It is spelled differently than this. Prack. Prack is not a word. Slack. Slack is a word. Smack. Smack is a word. Spack. Spack is not a word. Stack. Stack is a word. Track. Track is a word. Scrack. Scrack is not a word. Shrack. Shrack is not a word. Splack. Splack is not a word. Squack. Squack is not a word. Strack. Strack is not a word. Thrack. Thrack is not a word. Great job. Let's look at all the words we made. These are all of the ACK family words we made. You can practice reading these words until you can read them automatically. You can practice spelling these words. It's up to you. Thanks so much for playing today. I'll see you next time.